Good morning. My name is Teresa Collins. I'm the Associate Executive Director here at Senior Services Plus. On behalf of myself and all of our staff, we welcome you to today's Save CCP Rally event. We're honored to have all of you here in attendance, and today promises to be an exciting and informative day. A couple of months ago, Governor Rauner proposed fiscal year 16 budget. We stand to face $170 million in cuts to the Illinois Department of Aging Community Care Program. This reduction is proposed to be instituted in 4 ways. 1, the elimination of the enhanced rate for providers. 2, changing the DON score. Changing the DON score from 29 to 37. 3, instituting an income guideline at $17,500. And lastly, a reduction in service hours for all community care program home care participants with the average of 1 hour decrease per week. Currently, every month, an estimated 82,000 seniors statewide receive home care services through the community care program. The community care program employs nearly 50,000 individuals who perform administrative and direct care services in the state of Illinois. The benefits of these services extend to the participants' families through the ability of them to continue to work, knowing that their family members are safe and cared for. Without further ado, I would introduce our guest speaker, first speaker, Executive Director of Senior Services Plus, Mr. Jonathan Becker.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's just really good to see our fellow service providers today. Visiting nurses, Leslie Bates, St. John's Community Care, Addis. I really want to talk just for a few minutes about a provider's perspective. You know, this rally is really about one thing, and it's the opposition to Governor Rauner and his proposed budget cuts. But from a provider's perspective, you know, since 2008, many of us in this room have had delay of payments while we accepted more work under these contracts for the community care program. When I first started here at Senior Services, we did about 3,000 hours a month, and now we're billing 24,000 hours a month. There's been a growth for all of our agencies, these programs, of 20% over like a 7-year period. And the frustrating thing about it, during that 7-year period, we basically took out line of credits and low interest loans to fund free financing for the state. So while we absorbed those kind of hits financially and we took on more work, we did it because a lot of people in this room have the same mission, and that's to serve seniors. Unfortunately, Friday, several of our staff went to hear Governor Rauner, and his message is we have to be compassionate through being competitive. Now, I'm not sure what that means, but being competitive means that you don't turn your back on the most vulnerable population of people out there. You know, and at the same time, our agency is like many agencies in this room. We're a large employer. Senior Services Plus, like Addis, like visiting nurses, like Leslie Bates, we're one of the top 30 employers in RiverBend agency, our area now. So our payroll is about $4.5 million a year. Economically, these cuts have a big impact on this local economy. And even worse than that is the idea that you work your entire life, you get to the age of retirement, and when you need help most, basically you're cut off. There's no help out there for you. And I'm not sure that's the kind of society we really want and we really want to have here. Our agency has grown, like a lot of agencies, to accommodate people as they age because things are changing. And this is one thing to really think about. We were at Illinois Department of Aging budget hearing, and they talked about the numbers of people that are aging. And right now, there's about 2.4 million people over the age of 60 in the state of Illinois. For the next 15 years, there's going to be 30,000 people a year turning 60. Now, what are these folks going to do if there's no services to take care of them? What's the message? Our agency, if you've never been here before and you walk around this facility, we're doing things here that you're not going to find in the state of Missouri, elsewhere in Illinois or Indiana, and a lot of it's because of the vision of our board and our staff and the things that we're doing. And as we have grown to accommodate the state, this is a crucial time for us and a lot of seniors, and it's not the time to cut services. I really want to point out two things. First of all, I really appreciate our local legislators being here today. Senator Haine and Beiser, many times in the past, when we need payments or we need help, they have come through for us, and I just want to say thank you for that. I also want to welcome Rick Fasten, who is a county auditor who used to be on our board. He's a great supporter of senior services. I appreciate him taking his time out today. The other thing that is not being talked about, just really briefly, is the families who are that sandwich generation of folks, the folks who still have to work. And you might have kids or grandkids that are taken care of, and at the same time you have parents at home. They need in-home community services, they need adult day services, and there are a ton of people that go to St. John's or Addis or elsewhere every day. They couldn't work if they didn't have the service, and now is not time to cut these things. So I appreciate you folks coming out today, and I appreciate really our fellow providers coming out to show solidarity against these proposed cuts. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next, we'll call Representative Dan Beiser.
Thank you, John. First of all, I'd just like to say that it's a pleasure to work with John and Teresa and all the other staff members here. It's such a jewel that we have, and I really, as a legislator, but more importantly, as just a citizen of this area, thank you for what you do. I want to make my remarks, they'll be brief, but I know we're here to talk about the community care program, but I want to also add a couple different things, because there's a real life situation that I encountered as a state rep just a couple, 3 weeks ago. And I want everybody to think about what I'm saying as using these two words, essential versus non-essential, because that is a lot of the verbiage that's being used for people that are proposing these two types of cuts. Essential services we need to keep, non-essential we need to get away from. So I don't know how many of you people in this audience today has ever had a young family member who's been diagnosed on the autism spectrum. My daughter teaches children on the autism spectrum, but recently that program was cut to zero. Since it's been restored in the last week, this young lady will not face this situation. But I had a young mother, single mother in my district, or my Springfield office 3 weeks ago. She had a 4-year-old daughter who had been locked inside herself for 4 years. She finally got autism program services from Maryville, and the Maryville rep was sitting next to me. And the program she entered unlocked that young lady. Okay? She's progressed as a 5-year-old to where she's communicating, not verbally, but she's communicating with not only her mother, but those around her. She was notified the Friday previous to her being in my office that she no longer would have that service. Okay? Now, again, it's been restored, but that's only for the rest of this fiscal year. What will happen starting July 1st? I hate to put it. Essential versus non-essential. Let's switch to Alzheimer's. Anybody in this room has ever had a family member or members? I have. Alzheimer's programs slash under this proposal. Essential versus non-essential. Community care program, with his determination of needs proposal, like it's on your sheet, almost 40,000 people gone out of that program. Essential versus non-essential. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that this state rep, but this resident of this state in this area, considers every one of those things essential, and I'm willing to pay both. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Beiser. And next we'll call to the podium Senator Bill Haine.
Ladies and gentlemen, and my distinguished friend and colleague Dan Beiser, and county officials, and the mayor, Your Honor. It's a pleasure to be here at this venerable place, venerable agency. I go back to the foundation of this agency with the late Floyd Gallion. I see Reverend Hoy over there. Floyd got together with some people and started this agency and has flourished ever since. I couldn't agree with Representative Beiser any more than with what he said about essential versus non-essential. Just a personal anecdote. My wife's late father was a widower near Cincinnati, Ohio. He was 88, 89. He was living alone, and he had home health care, home community care, similar to what this agency and others here locally provide. We went to visit him many times during the year. Now this is in Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, with a Republican governor, a Republican Senate, and a Republican House. They have extensive services. I don't get the program here being offered by Governor Rauner. I don't understand his definition of what is necessary versus unnecessary when in adjoining states, led by men and women of his own party, this is considered necessary. But this is all a surprise. This budget is a surprise to us. Last fall, the debate was over the taxes, the temporary tax. Governor Quinn proposed that the tax be kept permanently at 5%. There wasn't support for that. Governor Rauner proposed several times keeping it at 5% and then incrementally lowering it, maybe for a fiscal year or so. None of these cuts were discussed as policy objectives. They were not debated fully or vetted with the citizens of the state. That's why it's a surprise. And those of us in the General Assembly have been genuinely shocked at the level of cuts and how they affect individual citizens. The $26 million for autism was recently restored, and it was restored, in my opinion, because of an outcry throughout Illinois. And the Alzheimer's centers face a similar situation with a 16 budget. Where do people go with a loved one with Alzheimer's without these centers? Nancy Berry's center, the one that St. Anthony's has, the 3 that SIU runs. Where do they go? Where do they go if you have a loved one at a home receiving community care? Are they going to be shunted to nursing homes or to state-run facilities as in the past, which were profoundly and greatly more expensive for the taxpayer than what is run here? The only way to turn this tide is a similar outcry. Just what you're doing here today. An outcry that will reach the ears of the governor, who I believe should hear them. I think he's genuinely unaware of the effects of this, and an outcry to him would be helpful. That's why we're here. But ladies and gentlemen, much is at stake. the vision of a just and equitable society in Illinois is being challenged with these cuts. I don't see them actually in any surrounding state. And it's up to us to bring these interests to bear so that people are heard. And the governor did hear, apparently, the outcry from those parents of the autistic children. I would hope that he would hear a similar outcry in the coming few weeks from all those affected by these catastrophic cuts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Haine. And next we'll have Mr. Rick Fasten.
Thank you very much, and I must say it's a pleasure to be here today. And as Jonathan alluded to earlier, I was on the board here, had the honor of serving with Zeke J. Bush, who's in the crowd today. I have all the confidence in the world in Senator Haine and Representative Beiser that they will do the right things. Before I was elected, I have a social service background. I was a director of Catholic Charities. I sit on their board today, and I sit on the board of Age Smart. And I want to tell you that you have a great leader in Jonathan Becker, great advocate in Zeke J. Bush. Teresa did a good job too. And I'm opposed to any cuts to any senior citizens or any other representation of people that are in need of services. I'm a social service guy, and I remain loyal to social services. So again, all the confidence in the world of Senator Haine, Representative Beiser, and I know they'll do the right thing, and that will be to act in your best interest. Thank you very much.
And next, we're honored to have Mr. Jim Pennebaker from AARP.
Thank you very much. Good morning, I'm Jim Pennebaker, volunteer with AARP in Illinois. I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the association about the proposed cuts to the Illinois Community Care Program. First, I'd like to thank Bob Keenan with IACC-PHP and Teresa Collins with Senior Services Plus for allowing me the opportunity to speak here today. AARP is strongly opposed to Governor Rauner's plan to cut $140 million from the Illinois Community Care Program. For many years, CCP has provided critical in-home and community-based services for countless elder residents, allowing them the opportunity to age with independence and dignity in their own home and community. With CCP, many Illinois seniors would be prematurely forced into nursing homes at 3 times the cost to Illinois taxpayers. Let me be crystal clear about that point. Caring for someone at home through the community care program saves the state an average of $24,000 per person per year, as compared to Medicaid nursing home placement. CCP is a fiscally responsible option that saves the state millions of dollars, offering quality care and services to many of Illinois' most vulnerable residents. Governor Rauner wants to change that drastically. The governor's proposed budget cuts could impact over 39,000 Illinois seniors, 38% of community care program clients who may be prematurely forced into nursing homes if the budget cuts go through. AARP is joining with organizations across the state to urge legislators to protect CCP. We have also set up a website, savecommunitycare.org, where people can get more information and contact their legislators. We also have a toll-free number that Illinois residents can use to contact their lawmakers about this issue. That number is 1-844-226-1190. I urge each one of you here today to get out your phones now and call your legislators. Tell them to protect funding for the community care program. Again, the number is 1-844-226-1190. 1190. AARP will continue to fight in Springfield and in district offices across the state to make sure the community care program is protected from these draconian cuts. The time for action is now. Thank you very much.
And next, Mr. Walker, Mayor Walker. Oh yes, I'm sorry, Jim, they're asking for the number. One more time if you don't mind.
It is 1-844-226-1190.
And we'll make sure that's on our website today, so you can also retrieve it from there. Mayor Walker?
Good morning. I can't tell you what an honor it is to be a mayor that has a senior services plus with the leadership of Mr. Becker, Teresa. We have a wonderful facility here in our community. And for that to be threatened and jeopardized for some of the most vulnerable people in our community is just outrageous. I couldn't be more proud to stand here side by side with people like Rick Faston in Madison County to give support to Representative Beiser and Senator Haine. They will be a great advocate and a wonderful supporter for what the cuts they are threatening. They will fight their tails off to make sure those cuts do not come through. So like we've heard, please help Senator Haine, Representative Beiser, because they're going to have a tough task coming up, and probably maybe through July, to get through this budget. The best thing we can do to support these great men is to get on that phone, get your letters out, call the governor's office, let your voice be heard. Make sure that the governor understands in Springfield where the pressure comes from. So it's very important that we support these men because they do have a tough job, and we couldn't be more blessed to have representatives in Springfield like Senator Haine and Representative Beiser. So they have my vehement support. I'm back 100%, and I hope you all do the same. Thank you very much.
And next, we'll call Ms. Cindy Cunningham from the Adult Day Services Association.
Hi, everybody. I want to talk a little bit more about what would happen if these cuts are actually enacted. There are 92 adult day services in Illinois. People come there for the day, they get the help that they need, they go home. The cuts are predicated on the belief that perhaps there's a lot of fat in the budgets, that perhaps we could do with a little less and get by, that maybe families could do a little bit more and then the state wouldn't have to pay so much. Senator Haine talked about maybe there's not complete understanding of the situation, and there can't be because our governor's new. He can't have known about this. He's never held elected official status before. Well, we don't know that. So in adult services, in order to make our budgets go, we're getting corporate donations. The adult day service program that I work for, in order to have breakfast, we get donations from Panera and from Lifeway Foods. They sponsor our breakfast. In order for our clients to make it to the adult day programs, their families help them get up in the morning, help them get dressed before they even go to work. In Illinois, according to the emergency home response people, 40% of all seniors that have the I've fallen and can't get up button have either no contact at all to call in those emergencies or one. So all of these programs right now are on a shoestring budget. Last year, 3 adult day programs closed, and that was based on the rates of service that we had last year. If they are cut further, there will be further loss of programs in Illinois. So I ask you, and what that means is, not only will the people with the lower DON scores lose services, lots of people are going to lose services because the agencies are on the brink of closing right now. So I ask you, for the sake of seniors in Illinois, please call that number that AARP gave you. It does make a difference. Please educate them as to what you as family members, what you as caregivers, and what you as clients are already doing. Tell them that you're doing your part to help Illinois, because we are in a fiscal mess. There's no doubt about that. But the problem is some of our leaders do not understand that we are already doing the best that we can. Thank you.
And next, we'll call Diane Drew, President of the IACC-PHP, or Illinois Association of Community Care Home Care Providers Association.
Thank you, Teresa. I think I'm president because I can say that really fast. It's really an honor for me to be here today representing our 45 agencies throughout the state of Illinois that are the providers of in-home care services to our seniors. We are a very varied group of people. I'm a nonprofit, we have profit. I'm a small agency, I provide service in one county. Many of our providers provide service throughout the state, but we all have one thing in common, and that's that we care what happens to our clients and to our seniors. And that's why we're here today, to urge all of you to make that phone call. Contact the governor's office. Let him know what this program means to you if you're a client or to family members. We cannot let this happen to our seniors. Our seniors deserve the dignity and respect that they have worked so hard over the years to accomplish. If we lose the services, many of them, as you've heard previously, are going to go to nursing homes. And while we all realize that sometimes there is a place for nursing homes, we need to keep those people who can remain at home and independent, we need to keep them there. And again, nursing homes, there is a place for them, but stop and think about it. Who in this room really wants to spend the rest of their life in a nursing home? I'm a senior. I certainly do not want to. Now, let's do what we can throughout this state. Let's contact the governor. As Cindy said, we're operating on shoestrings now. Let's let him know what's going on. Let's urge him to take care of our seniors, give them the dignity and respect they deserve. Thank you.
Before we have our next speaker, I want to repeat that number for AARP again, just for anyone who didn't get that number. It's 1-844-226-1190. And next, we call Miss Judy Harris, a recipient of in-home services through the Community Care Program.
I was asked by SSP if I would represent seniors. And as some of you know, we live in Marion Heights Apartments, and we have housekeepers from there that come from here to us. And I don't know what we would do without some of those services. I know that the meals at night that are brought in for upstairs on 8th floor, there would be a lot of people in our apartments, Marion Heights, that would not have a supper if we didn't have those meals coming in. It's wonderful for people that can't cook, and we have a lot of people that don't have family, that don't come. And just having their housekeeper come and just having them there, whether they clean or they don't clean, is something that they just need the communication daily with people. I'm a retired nurse, so this is very dear and close to my heart. And I think what they're doing in the medical field is a travesty. There's a lot of cuts being made, like the people have talked, and I hate to see this happen because this isn't the way I was trained as a nurse. Heck, maybe 40 or so years ago. But anyway, it's just, no none of us want to go to a nursing home. And all you heard for years and years when you worked was, oh, just wait till you retire. The golden years are wonderful. They suck. I would rather be working again, believe me. Thank you.
I believe we have a representative from the Adult Day Service.
My name is Mary Lida Miller, and I'm the program director at the Addis Adult Day Center here in Alton. I have a couple people with me. The first lady who's going to speak, his name is Alma Hart, and she receives services at our center. And after that, Sharon would like to say a few words. Hold on just a second.
Morning. Thank the Lord for Mary. She has so asked me to speak for Addis. I love Addis. We all love Addis. Hallelujah. Oh, we appreciate Addis. I don't know what I would do without Addis. My son, Terrence, called me and told me about Addis. I didn't know nothing about Addis. But I thank the Lord, he did what he did.